Okay, so I want to talk about today. I want to give kind of a proof of weak hands and P3X question and answer. I had a question, a really good question on one of my other videos, and I want to cover that here. And I also want to give you kind of some update on a little bit of news in the P3D community and give you some of my feedback. First of all, those of you who follow my channel, you know that I love cryptocurrency, no question about it. That's what this channel is all about. I particularly love projects that allow you to earn a passive income through cryptocurrency. And that's where proof of weak hands comes in. And if that's kind of your style, then you want to subscribe to my channel because it's a bit of a no-nonsense. I do my best to avoid any sort of drama that's out there. And I just like projects that offer a real way to earn passive cryptocurrency. More importantly, I love decentralized, transparent, trustless projects. And that's what this is. Proof of weak hands 3D, if you don't know what it is, it's first and foremost a token, it's an ERC20 token, smart contract, and you can look up the contract. You can come here and look up the contract right here. However, let me just explain the basics. The basics is you use Ethereum to purchase this token on the internal exchange that they have because it's a ERC20 token. But when I say internal exchange, you just basically the website allows you to interact with the smart contract. So you purchase the proof of weak hands 3D token or P3D token with Ethereum, and then every time you buy the tokens or you sell the tokens, you pay a 10% fee. That 10% fee is an exchange fee, but it doesn't go to an internal exchange. It gets divvied up among all P3D tokens in the ecosystem. So basically, for every token that you hold, when there's volume, and I apologize if you hear some background noise. I'm traveling right now on my headset. I don't currently have it. So I apologize. But in the P3D ecosystem, every time you buy and sell tokens, there's a 10% internal fee, and that fee goes to all token holders. So you basically earn passive Ethereum based off of the 10% fee, all the buys, all the sales, and all the transfers of the token, because there's a fee for transfers as well. Now, I'm going to show you a resource that a lot of people in the P3D community are not aware of, and this is a resource where you can see all of the current dApps that are basically a part of the P3D ecosystems that are endorsed by the primary team of developers in the P3D ecosystem, known as Team Just. I want to cover a question that I had in one of my videos, and then I want to talk to you about some bad news. It's bittersweet. I think it's sad because, hang on one moment. Sorry, there's a bit of golf cart going by. I didn't know if you could hear that. It was a gas-powered golf cart. But anyway, I wanted to cover a bit of a sad news, but I think it's bittersweet, and I think it shows a little bit of leadership ability on the side of Team Just. And I think that even though the news is a little bit sad, I think it probably is a positive sign for the future of this project. But this project is very early. There's about 31,000 Ethereum in the contract right now, but it is still so in its infancy, and it has a lot of potential. I will first let me just address this question that I had. By the way, you can come watch this video on my channel. P3X launched. This is when I was talking about the new edition of P3X and what P3X is, and you can come watch that on my channel. But I had this question down here from Andy, and I always do my best to respond to comments on my channel, by the way, and I also do my best to answer questions to the best of my ability. Just know that I'm no expert in this space. I know that I may know more than some of my viewers, but it's just because I'm a true enthusiast. I am an investor, but I'm a true enthusiast. So I do keep up on this stuff, and I may keep up with it more than a lot of people. But I reserve to be right, and I reserve to be wrong. And I reserve to be wrong 100% of the time about 100% of everything. So just keep that in mind. Andy asked here, he said right here, crypto wealth, absolutely fascinating space. Insurance and pension industries are basically similar to this in my mind. Mine too, Andy. This could revolutionize those industries big time. Everyone puts in a bit whenever something needs fixing or paying out. It comes out from the pot. P3D in use cases is pretty far from mainstream. Can't see proof of weak hands remaining the same in its current form for mass adoption, but I'll happily take it if it does happen. I agree with this. However, I think that's where P3X comes in, and I don't think P3X is the end. By the way, I think there'll be other tokens in the future that may offer use cases that will basically strengthen the use case for P3D. And I want to explain something right here. Insurance and pension industries are basically similar to this in my mind. Yes, but the way the insurance and the pension industry specifically work is that it's based off of a lot of really smart people doing a lot of calculations. When you pay in to health insurance or life insurance, they know statistically you're paying more than you're going to get back in benefits. That's how they earn a profit. Now the problem with the industry is this 100% or zero. For example, with life insurance, you either end up collecting or you don't end up collecting, and most people aren't going to collect. Like on a term life policy, for example, most people don't collect. Most term life policies are never ever paid out. But in insurance, there is a central authority that has to earn a profit. Therefore, it has to be, you could argue that it's always a bad financial decision because you're always statistically going to pay in more than you get out. But of course, people need insurance, right, to cover those, life happens, emergencies, tragedies in life. However, with a P3D type model, someone could be paying in, i.e. buying P3D tokens consistently over time, and then they could use the dividends. They could either sell the tokens or they could use the dividends off of the tokens to help cover expenses, and it's never a you're never at a loss from a central authority who has to be taking a profit out of the total money put in. The total amount of money put into P3D is always going to be used somehow inside of the ecosystem. It doesn't have to be a centralized authority earning a profit. There's no centralized authority that earns a profit in the P3D ecosystem. So imagine paying in every year, imagine a form of retirement. You're paying in every year, and then you're earning dividends, you're reinvesting dividends because you don't need them, and then one day you decide to start living off the dividends. Well, who knows what those dividends could equate to one day if this project is able to sustain itself for many, many years, and they develop other use cases along the lines of this project, where you need the P3D tokens, and it's not just a financial dividend earning aspect. There's more use cases for those tokens, and there are already some small use cases for the tokens, and they're right here. We'll cover that in a moment. But Andy came down here and he asked another question. He said, crypto wealth, absolutely fascinating space. Insurance. Oh, sorry. He came down and said, would love if you could do some P3X, P3D video to see what investment options are there. Like, do you sell P3D to buy P3X? Or do you use P3D divs to buy P3X? Will P3D now die if P3X takes over, etc., etc.? Let me just talk about this right here. I don't know what he meant by etc., etc. I can't make assumptions. But I can answer this right here. And I can just give you my opinion, and that's all it is my opinion. Would love if you could do, okay, do you sell P3D to buy P3X? The answer to that is no. P3X, if you go back and watch this video, then one of the things I explained there is that P3X basically is a smart contract that kind of, I'm oversimplifying this probably, but it essentially lays over P3D. It's tethered to P3D. So if you get dividends in P3D, then you also get equal dividends in P3X, the way the smart contract is written. So if you have P3X tokens and you sell your P3X tokens, then essentially you sell P3D tokens, because every think about USD Tether, except this is a real Tether. Every P3X is equal to one P3D token, and every P3D token arguably is equal to one P3X. There's a couple of subtle differences that I discussed here, but would I sell P3D to buy P3X? No, because when you sell P3D, you're going to pay a 10% fee, and then when you buy P3X, you're also going to pay a 10% fee, so you're going to lose 20%. There's no need to do that at all. So if you wanted to buy P3X tokens, the easiest thing I think is take dividends from P3D and use them to buy more P3X. Now, there is the possibility for dApps. There are no dApps that I know of strictly using the P3X token, but there is a possibility that there could be dApps using the P3X token because there's no transfer fee on the P3X token. So there are more differences that I covered in this video, and again I'll put a card for this video in the top right hand corner if you haven't seen it already. But the P3X token is identical to the P3D in most ways, except when you buy P3X, you pay a 10% fee. When you sell P3X, you pay a 10% fee. But when you transfer P3X, you don't pay a fee. Whereas when you transfer P3D, you do pay a fee. That's a subtle difference, and that difference is huge when it comes to various dApps. It allows a different sort of a use case for dApps, and allows more usability of that token for various dApps. So with that being said, if you believe that the dApp space is going to grow really, really fast, then maybe you would want to take the 10% hit by selling and the 10% hit by buying P3X. But that's not what, personally, that's not what I would do. What I would do is I would just use my dividends from P3D to buy P3X tokens. Will P3D now die if P3X takes over? That's impossible. If P3X takes over, we may always reference P3X. We may get to a space, who knows, where we don't actually talk about P3D. In theory, if P3X takes over and it becomes far more popular, we may not talk about P3D. But it's impossible for P3D to die because the P3X token interacts with the P3D contract. So this contract interacts with this contract. In other words, if there's no P3D, then there's no P3X. P3X cannot exist without P3D. So even if we didn't ever talk about P3D, it's just like, okay, for example, typically we don't talk about Ethereum and P3D, but Ethereum has to exist. If you always say, hey, I bought P3D, I bought P3D, you cannot buy P3D without Ethereum or the Ethereum blockchain. We may not reference, hey, I just purchased me some P3D tokens on the Ethereum blockchain. But you don't have to reference it. You don't even have to know what the P3D blockchain is. I'm sorry, you don't even have to know what the Ethereum blockchain is. But you can't use P3D without the Ethereum blockchain. So in theory, maybe there comes a time where we always talk about P3X and we never actually verbally talk about P3D. Maybe. We'll see what the future holds. But the reality is, it doesn't kill P3D. P3D has to exist and it will always be there. As long as, because the P3X token has to have the P3D token to even exist, to even do what it does. So I wanted to make certain that was clear, and I hope that is clear to you. You can get more information by watching this video here on the differences in P3X and P3D, where I cover it completely. Also, I was watching a YouTube video, and I think it was on Crypto Yardy's channel. Crypto Yardy said, hey, I don't know where this information came from. I don't know where this email came from that was referenced. It came from here. If you go to decentralized3d.com, which I'll put a link in the description, if you go there, then you're going to get, this is a great place to come to learn about the P3D ecosystem. Look at that, Ethereum's up $95. It was down to 85 yesterday. Anyway, this is where you can come to learn a lot about the P3D ecosystem, but the best thing is you can see all of the current dApps. There's P3D, there's FOMO 3D, there's Snipe. These are all games, Sacrifice, Raffle 3D, P3D Daily, Slaughtered 3D, Spud 3D. These are all games, ETHORS, P3D Farm, Koch, and these are upcoming projects. These are all games that interact directly with the P3D smart contract, that create dividends, that create volume, and you can come here and look at each one of them, read all about them, learn about them, get all the links to go to each one right here. So if you ever wanted to know what's going on, this is the place to come. And once you come to this page and you'll get a pop-up that will come up, and you enter in your email, and they will notify you basically of any major news announcements that's developing in this space. So this is a great decentralized 3D, home of 3D dApps. And I'll put this down, like I said, in the description below. So look for this link in the description. Also, I want to talk about this, and I think this is important. It's sad, it's bittersweet. Where was it at? Announcements. So we had a developer that stepped away, and he's been MIA for a while. I kind of wondered to myself basically what's been going on with him, and I'm certain other people had wondered as well. His name was Inventor. Inventor was a great he was a great asset early in this project, did a lot of the developing, and we got this announcement a couple days ago. Sad to say, Inventor is no longer working with Team Just because of his medical condition. While this is disappointing internally for future projects, Manso has been the solidity engineer on all active projects and no deadlines have shifted. While we wish it was different, he is completely refusing to seek medical care for a life-threatening condition which is jeopardizing his life and mental health. If he reaches out to you, please implore him to see a doctor. While this may seem personal or crude, we simply wish him the best and are no longer able to get through to him. It truly breaks our heart to make this announcement. Okay. So this is sad. Inventor was a lot of fun to see when he was passionate about this space. It was a lot of fun to see talk and banter and discord. So this is sad. But there are always going to be changements to management, to development teams and whatnot. And it is good to see them being able to say, hey, we need to move on. Hey, Inventor needs to take care of himself. I think that's a mature management decision. I don't obviously know the details. I don't know what's going on with his health or his mental health, and that's sad. That's just really sad. But we wish him the best. Our thoughts and prayers are with him, and hopefully, whatever's going on with his health he's able to get it taken care of, and it resolves itself, and he's well, and his life is well, and his family's well. But it does show that there is some clear management, and it does show that there's, I've wondered about their abilities to move forward, what their focus was, but it does show that they are planning to move forward. It does show that they're talking about future projects, they're aware of future projects, and there obviously are adjustments behind the scenes, but this is an optimistic message of, hey, we got this under control, don't worry about it, just want to give you a heads up and let you know. And I think that's wise from a management standpoint, and that's huge. This space continues to grow, adapt, and develop. It's phenomenal to be a part of this and to be able to see it. It's crazy. Most of the world doesn't even know smart contract. Most of the world don't even know what Bitcoin is, much less understand this space. But if you want to stay tuned to the P3D dApps, the passive income crypto space, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Hit that thumbs up icon. And anytime you comment on my videos, if you have questions or comments or observations you want to make, by all means, please feel free to comment. And you don't even have to like my projects. You can still comment. I'm one of those people that think that any project, the cryptocurrency space as a whole, we're all on the same team. We may, I may love Bitcoin, you may love Ethereum. I may love Ethereum, you may love, Neo. It doesn't matter. We don't yet know who the market leaders are. And although I'm biased and I have a dog in the fight, at the end of the day, I want crypto to succeed. I want this space to flourish. And I'm going to support you no matter what project you love and what you like. I don't have to like your projects and you don't have to like my projects. But just know that we are in this space together, hands down. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day.